Here and welcome to the 1 o'clock show. This week we have two very special guests joining me on the couch as we bring the show to you from Melbourne. You'll all know and love him as Jack Holden on Home and Away, and he was the 2006 runner-up for CLEO Batchelor of the Year. Want to know what Paul O'Brien's up to lately? Well, he joins me here on the show this week. We also have the gorgeous Genine Howard, life and business coach, entrepreneur, businesswoman and publisher. She's going to give us some great insight on our topics this week. What are we talking about? Oscar Pistorius only getting 6 years for murdering his girlfriend. Social media, what does it mean in this society? And a whole lot more. So grab yourself a wine, kick off those shoes and enjoy this week's show. Cheers, happy Friday,
Cheers.
happy 5 o'clock.
Happy 5 o'clock.
Happy 1 o'clock.
Happy 1 o'clock.
I can't have my coffee.
Yeah, no coffee, it's time to get into it. Nice.
I can drink that right now.
You
That's
can?
actually all right.
Well, you know, Paul did ask for the Shiraz, so we had to do the Shiraz
No.
today.
Thank you. Well, it's, wet, it's windy, it's cold, it's Melbourne.
Yes.
Shiraz.
Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Janine, welcome. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to lately, Paul.
Me, always working on being a better person. I've got some acting things on the go. Fortunately, I was in New Zealand for a little bit doing a film there. And I think, my main focus these days tends to be coaching actors. And I always wanted to be a director. I never wanted to be an actor. That's the weird thing, is as I got older, people go, why don't you try acting? And I was always like, no, I want to do radio, I want to direct, I want to... and so now I love acting, and I really appreciate to be on set. But yeah, the coaching thing is a daily thing, and I feel as though I get to... You see the results of it. I've got films that I did, and they still haven't come out. It's years later, so it is slow in that way. Yeah.
We've had a few people on social media say that, they all know and love you as, I guess, Jack Holden from Home and Away, and people were devastated for weeks after Jack was shot. Do you still have fans that come up to you and sort of reminisce about that?
I do. I think that's just testament to the writers and, and what Channel 7 created and Home and Away and how they can, create that stuff. Because, Jack was such a lovely guy and I'm an arsehole. It's like, they did a great job. They did a great job. And yet clearly the fan base and people love it. It's one of those shows.
Because you want to sort of steer away from that nice cop, pin-up boy sort of...
Well, I did. There was an interview that TV Week did, and they're bastards. But this is me, learning to be better at interviews. And, I said this thing, I'm like, I've done underbelly. They're asking me and saying, tell me about it. And, it was that thing of, Home and Away for me was a show that I wasn't proud of my performance as an actor. And I struggled to keep up with workload and I probably put too much effort in, to be honest, because I was trying to get it right. And I was a thinking actor as well, and very trained. And but then, outside of that, I do like a very different style of filmmaking. And you don't watch TV. I don't watch TV, so I'm not really...
I watch the 1 o'clock show.
Yeah. Oh, we love you, Janine.
Well, that's also where it's moving, now with social media. But growing up for me as a kid on the Gold Coast, I worked in a kiosk on the beach and I surfed and I played guitar. And that was it. There wasn't this other world. I guess I got to see the world of the Gold Coast. But then when you see these shows, they're so lovely. And I'm like, well, that's not the world I'm used to. All the things I've seen. So it really isn't that lovely, is it? Home and Away, there's so much drama. It's pretty full.
It's very angst-driven.
It is. What would be your ultimate role to play or ultimate dream job?
I got to play this action hero role that was pretty cool. A lot of knife work and guns. But for me, I think that's the thing. When you have one thing, you always want something else. Romantic comedy just doesn't exist in my hemisphere in Australia for some reason, but that is probably closer to my casting or just comedy. I've tried to produce a few comedies and they didn't get picked up. So, that's the reality. And you just go back and like, how do I reinvent it and show people who I am and pray and,
Excellent.
collaborate.
Fantastic. Janine Howard, welcome to the
Hey,
couch.
Tim. Good to see you again.
Now, you've done a lot since leaving the Sunshine Coast and moving to Melbourne. You were a publisher. She's had a couple of magazines, very successful magazines, but you're more a life and business coach now. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, so I'm kind of going down the road that you are there as well, Paul. So I've been doing business coaching for a couple of years since I moved to Melbourne, and more so for two reasons. One, I love doing it, and I was doing it for free anyway before, so now I get paid. And two, because, my husband's an actor as well, so we moved to Melbourne for him to have his career. So he's a stay-at-home dad. No. So we made the decision that I would have a location-independent business, and coaching's great for that. I do it all via phone or Skype, so yeah, it's worked out well, and a couple of magazines as well, and so it's been a really busy couple of years, but really fun.
Social media, it's a big part of everyone's life, but have we lost our face-to-face communication? This week we've seen Kieran Jack's mother take to Twitter expressing her disappointment in her son. We've seen a father mimic his daughter's Instagram posts, and if you're not following Celeste Barber, then you should be. We have two very public people on the couch this week, so let's get their view and take on social media. We've seen a bit on social media lately where parents have sort of taken to, I think it's Kieran Jack's mum has taken to Twitter and really hammered him about his girlfriend, and there's obviously a dislike between the girlfriend and the mother, and now he's banned her, or banned the mother from coming and watching his 200th game.
Although he said he didn't though, did he? I think he went back. He's a great interviewer.
Oh, really?
They kept trying to break him and he just held.
He kept in the zone.
He didn't bust out and say, I wouldn't go back if you paid me $1 million.
He's actually reacted very maturely about this situation, and I don't know if he's actually had media training, because I think a lot of the footy stars do get media training. But this whole situation where the parents actually dissed their son on social media, this is what I can't get past.
This was my question, is like, of all people, I mean, you probably get it, and I'm sure Rowan probably gets it being in the spotlight. We already have people out there that troll and put hate out on social media. The last thing you expect is it come from your mother.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be given a serve over Twitter, or any sort of social media by your parents is kind of the ultimate slap on the bottom, isn't it? It's like when you were a kid walking down the supermarket aisle, and if your mum smacked you on the bum, it was so humiliating and embarrassing.
Totally.
And this is kind of like a public way of doing that to he's a grown adult, effectively.
Yeah.
And
what did she actually say in the tweet? Do we know?
I think what was said, he had actually, I think verbally, like this is my thing, communication face to face. I think he actually said to his mum, because they talked about the girlfriend and not liking the girlfriend, he basically said, well, what's the point of coming and watching my 200th game? She's going to be there, blah, blah, blah. So the mother has gone now on social media, just, disappointed.
Yeah.
So my thing is, have we lost that face-to-face communication with, even family and friends? Everything seems to be social media now. Everyone catches up via social media. Oh, look at someone's status, and rather than picking up a phone and talking to them and communicating.
Yeah, definitely. And to take it one step further, first of all, I will say that I communicate with my mum via Facebook Messenger. not in the same house, but, quite often that's how we'll communicate. But I'm finding that more and more we're losing the ability just to speak to someone, or, just pick up the telephone and have a chat and have a conversation. And as we know, emails, text messages, social media posts, there's no context and there's no emotion put forward through them, so it can get misconstrued very easily. I find in my world, everyone communicates with me via text or Facebook Messenger. It's ridiculous. Like, no one speaks on the phone anymore.
What about you, Paul? Are you a text or are you a pick up the phone and ring?
I was always a pick up the phone and ring. I was always like social media, no, people are like, why aren't you on social media? You do this and that. And there's a tipping point, recently where I was like, wow, the world is changing on the TV. I'm not even sure it's going to be around, before long, because there's these other worlds that have been created, and it's changing massively. But it's interesting to say this thing of tonality. A big thing I teach with my students is that words count for 7% of communication.
Yeah.
And so much of it is your physicality. And physicality usually informs tonality. So, I think the big one is don't judge. It's probably the learning lesson there, because we always misconstrued and we always think other people are out to get us. I think it's a big one. I always think that's personal. People are attacking me and saying this. But then in my head, I'm like, well, wait a minute, okay. I think you have to as well if you're getting... But I feel sorry for Jack. But also feel sorry for his mum, because in the heat of the moment, she probably just went, oh, da-da-da-da-da, I'm dobbing you in. See what your fans think.
Absolutely.
Because they'll be on mum's side.
It was kind of like, wait till your father gets home. We're going to dub on you. But instead it was to millions of people across Australia. So, it really shows that underlyingly, we've all got our issues, and mum's obviously got her issues, and she's extremely angry about it. But, to take it to social media and not have a chat to him on the phone was the ultimate smack on the bum.
It's easier to do it that way, though. We're wusses. As humans, we're wusses.
Yes.
And it's like we're always... it's funny, in the acting paradigm, it's like everything's about confrontation. And I think I was a pretty crap actor growing up, because I wasn't doing that in my real life. If I had a problem with someone, I'd be like, avoid. Avoid. But then as soon as... Yeah, that's right. But as soon as there's a group of people there, and this was a young thing as well, and I wasn't very evolved, but I'd be like, now it's time to bring up that thing that I want to bring up. Especially with roommates, dobbing in roommates, going, well, hey, the place is nice. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? You know what? I'm the only one who cleans it. And looking back, I was a little bitch. But, it's an easier way to do it. We feel courageous when we've got an audience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I feel sorry. I don't think anyone won.
No.
In that situation.
There's another social media incident where a father was sick of his daughter posting sexy selfies on Instagram, so he's now mimicked, I think, all of her social media posts and put it, and it's gone global. And there's another lady which I find hilarious, Celeste Barker. She does the same thing where she'll see like Kim Kardashian in a pose, and she'll reenact the pose, but she's a larger woman, and makes it look very
beautiful.
Awkward and unco and unattractive.
I do love that, especially with the dad mimicking his daughter. I don't know if you've seen them, but he'll even put the pout on, and he's a little bit larger, and it's quite hilarious to look at. And I do like the fun playfulness of that, to say, let's not take ourselves too seriously, And luckily, she's 19, so, could have gone either way. She could have been absolutely mortified.
I reckon it did go the other way. And she was like, Dad, such an asshole. And then all of a sudden, all these hits, and she's a viral. And she's on the news going, I mean, I could be wrong. And just going, Dad, he's such a...
He's so funny.
He wasn't when he stretched into your dress. So
Oh, dear. Oscar Pistorius. It's been one of those cases we have watched over the years, and this week his sentence was handed down. 6 years for the shooting murder of girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp. There's been a lot of speculation about, is he innocent or is he guilty? Let's see what the panel has to say about this.
Action. So where were we? You were there, I was here, and you were there.
I was here, yeah.
Excellent.
So this week we heard, obviously we've been seeing all over the news for the last couple of years about Oscar Pistorius and the case where he has, accidentally or purposely shot his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp. He's been sentenced to 6 years jail. I think this week he was just sentenced. Yeah. Are you on the, he was innocent, it was an accident, or do you think he's guilty?
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, we're looking at you.
Okay. I don't have strong opinions about much, because I like to see both sides. I am down the line. He did this. He flipped out. He lost it. And, he's been retrialed. Went to trial. And first of all, he was charged of manslaughter. But, the judge did see that he absolutely did this. Because I'm a coach, I can read into people's psychology and see what happens behind the scenes and why people do things. And in a situation like that, people can really flip out. On the emotional scale, one moment here, from say 1 to 23, jealousy is right down there. I think it's about 18 on the emotional scale, meaning that the lowest is grief, and it's the worst that you feel. So jealousy can do some really insidious things to us. And, I often think about that situation when I'm hearing these stories about Oscar and trying to imagine what was going through his head at that night. And I absolutely believe he did it, and I absolutely believe that he should definitely go to jail for, a long period of time.
Well, we know he did it, but do you believe that he did it as an accident because he thought it was somebody was breaking in, or do you think he actually did it because of jealousy? And
yeah, I absolutely think that. I'm a full expert on this subject. But yeah, no, that's my belief.
He only got 6 years.
Yeah, and he's already served 3, so they're saying he might only serve actually physically in jail for 1.
Right.
Wow.
Once again, I don't know anything about it, and I'd be
Been
arrogant.
for 3 years.
I'd be arrogant to make it up. And
I don't watch TV, and I know all that.
Yeah, I mean, 6 years seems a bit low.
Yeah.
Maybe the judge felt sorry for him.
Do you know what the story was? Want me to tell you quickly in like 30 seconds?
He
Shot his
Sure.
girlfriend.
He shot his girlfriend. But what was she doing wrong?
No, she came home in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he thought it was an intruder. And because he didn't have his legs and stuff on, and he apparently
So he was legless.
Yeah, scrabbled.
Had he been drinking?
I don't think so. No, not that legless.
Right. Who's to know?
So apparently he shot his girlfriend at 3 o'clock, but reports say that she'd been seeing somebody else, or there was some sort of jealousy.
That he had often been overheard, having a lot of angst about her because she's extremely beautiful. He had a lot of insecurities, as one could imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
So, then they say that...
It's really hard. So I'm on that thing where I can see that he, at 3 o'clock in the morning, if somebody came into the home and you're asleep and you heard all this noise that you made, especially in South Africa. Especially in South Africa, to have that fear that someone's in your home. See, I'm on the fence.
I don't know. I think there's a very short window of time before you come to in reality. Like if you're woken up in the middle of the night, at first you might be a bit bewildered, but you can come to quite quickly. And I'm sure that she would have said, honey, it's me.
Honey, I'm home.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of shady details. I remember reading intimate details of how it all apparently played out and just going, I'm seeing through this.
Okay.
Really am.
So there's a Gold Coast couple that are about to raffle off their Corsay Island in Micronesia. $66 a ticket can buy you an island. As you do. Do you think it's good publicity or marketing, or do you think there's a catch?
Well, I think they're so smart. But this is seriously one of the smartest things I've heard in a long time.
Serious coin coming their way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
there's a limit.
Yeah, there's a limit.
So there is a trick.
Yeah.
So they have to sell over 55,000 tickets, or they don't sell the island.
Yeah, but they still get the cash, because if they sell 50,000 tickets, whoever wins the raffle, they get half the money, and the couple get half the money. So either way, they're like...
Do you think it's
This is brilliant.
It is brilliant, isn't
I
it?
want to auction my apartment
Totally.
at my house. I don't own it. But if it doesn't work out for some reason, you get half the money, I get half the money. It's good on them.
Yeah. And
but
because
what happens, won't you feel ripped though if you were one of these people that bought a ticket and it didn't get to the 55,000 ticket sales, somebody else wins, $1.5 million, they get to keep 1.5. I think in math, I think Koshi did it was something like $3.6 million all up. So they walk away with, $1 million odd dollars.
Yeah.
Just for running a raffle that didn't even get to
It's awesome though. But see, you could be that person for $66. Seriously, hang on, where's my phone? I need to go and buy a ticket.
You are.
I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm totally going to. Why wouldn't you? It's only $66.
It's so smart. I mean, that's what I love about where social media is going, is that people are, we're maybe becoming more like childlike. Our creative genius is coming out and they're like, well, we can't sell the island and this one's worth more and this one. They're probably going to get more money for it. And either way, it's like...
Well, I think they... March last year, the island became debt-free, so they don't actually owe any money on the island, so anything that they get for it is cash.
I think it's so clever. It's funny, I was reading an article about them, and they were saying how... we're just an average couple from the Gold Coast, we're just, kind of playing
I'm from the Gold Coast.
Yeah!
Sure you are.
Just Aussie battlers. And, every Australian deserves the right to, have a chance of winning an island. And I think that angle has also played well in the media.
Yeah.
So I think tops to them, good on them. They're going to make some great cash. Why shouldn't they,
Yeah.
And for $66, no one's going to have a cry about it, if you don't win.
Would you uproot if you won, would you uproot your whole family and go and live on an island and run an island? I think there's like 18 rooms. They've got a successful scuba diving business that earns them, I think, about $100,000 a year. There's obviously, they've got, I think it's 60 staff that run the island as well. So it's a business. You'd have to uproot your whole family and go and live on an island.
Do you know what I'd do? I'm very good at outsourcing. So I would just put a manager in, pay someone, because you could afford it, I'm sure, if it was a profitable business. Put some other people in, and then I'd, do holidays there, regularly with my family. So I wouldn't go and live there. I think that's a bit crazy. I'm a biologist though, so I love all of that. It's in this natural environment. I'm sure I could do guided tours again.
You might come round. I think if you went and saw it, you might end up. I know my girlfriend would be like, da 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 da. Like, don't you think? And I would probably start
secretly buying $66 tickets.
Yeah, I would actually ponder it, because there's something nice about being in nature, and it makes sense, and the world makes sense. But to be honest, I think I'd flip that puppy, and I'd get the money, and I'd buy a few apartments. I mean, obviously it's worth a few mil, right?
Yeah.
I'd buy a few apartments, I'd make a film, I'd go on a holiday, I'd buy a new wardrobe. Not that there's anything wrong with these pants.
We did comment, we love them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether they can see them, but...
Harry, what is it? Fitzroy Racing?
Yeah, it's the angle I'm going for today.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. You could just sell it off, couldn't you?
But could you? Like, why have they gone down the raffle route?
Yeah, because you do a raffle ticket, and you'd say $50 a ticket, and $10 from each ticket goes to a charity.
So,
it does. Let's go above and beyond.
Yeah. Now you're thinking. You got $33?
Yes, I do. Hey, let's create.
Sorry, Pam. Well, let's include you as well. Let's buy 3 tickets, one each.
Yeah. All right. So it is that time of the day that we love so much here on the 1 o'clock show, and we do play a little game called Never Have I Ever. Have you heard of it before?
I'm scared. I'm always scared. I say dumb things because I try and be funny.
You have a panel.
And you've had some wine there as well.
I've never. Pass it down to G.
Jeez, I've done too many bad
I got
things.
scared of this bit because I thought, we're going to have to do this, aren't we? And I laugh at other people and what they've, said. I'm like, do I be
And there's
truthful?
no lying in Never Have I Ever.
All right.
If you lie, you've got to kiss the girl closest to you.
I'm not very good at lying anyway. But you
didn't see that.
Closer?
You didn't hear that, did you?
Aren't you married? He's an actor. I get it.
He's an actor.
I get it.
He kisses other girls all the time.
He
and
does.
boys. Look, it's,
Well, you know where the shotgun is.
It's only fair.
Too soon? Too soon?
Too soon.
Too
Yeah,
soon.
too soon.
Is this the...
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I've never.
Never.
And there's no lying either.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay, so never have I ever accidentally said I love you to someone.
Sorry, can I get more details on that? Like, I never accidentally said it.
Yeah.
As in, you said it and then went, oh, geez, I didn't mean to say
we didn't say that. No. Like, okay, so my husband has done this before where he's finished a business call and accidentally said, love you, bye.
Okay.
And just like,
I think I have.
Yeah.
Never. Have you?
Yeah.
What's your story? Go tell us your little story.
My story of doing that? No, I think it was, I do it a lot where I've put kisses on the end of messages.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what did I... Well, I just did it a few days ago. I was talking to my girlfriend and I said something and I went, yeah, okay, see you, babe. Yep, kisses. And I'm messaging because I got that.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm multitasking. And I wrote kisses on the message and that's a bit embarrassing. Yeah.
Gee.
I've done the same thing to a staff member a few years ago. All right, love you. Bye. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, married.
Well, I do anyway. It was a girl, so, but that's actually
Still married, what?
nothing wrong with
nothing
that.
wrong
Yeah.
What do you call a lesbian with long fingers?
Oh,
I don't know.
Is it, you've been drinking wine?
I know.
Well hung. It's got long fingers. No? Nothing?
Oh, dear.
Sure,
I think
it'll grow on you.
Yeah.
It'll grow.
It's all about
with
time.
boys.
If you're around some lesbians, you see, I grew up with lesbians, and it was great timing. I just kicked your microphone. I hope that's not a problem.
Well, I'm having
that's
more
okay.
wine just because this conversation's
Kicking the
going a bit.
microphone, talking about
Yeah.
long figures, jeez. Never have I ever slept with a co-worker.
Oh, whoa. Are we going here?
You have. Tell us about that.
My husband.
Is that how you met?
Yeah.
That's a bit romantic, isn't it?
That
and
is a bit
and a bit
romantic.
raunchy at the same time.
Yeah.
Where were you?
We had an office in Hamilton, and
In the
yeah,
office.
in the office.
That's
Boardroom will never be the same again.
Oh,
bad.
too much information.
There you go. That's what happens.
There you go. Well, mine's this, and and that, and then that.
So you have.
How many
you have.
co-workers have you slept with?
And none of my husband.
Part of the coaching that is provided is intimate.
Look, no. This is a long time ago. We're talking long
Yeah,
time.
Pre-husband.
Yes, yes.
Pre-husband.
Yeah.
I haven't seen your...
Yeah. What's your?
Have I slept with a coworker? I don't think I have.
You're very boring. Just say I have.
Okay, I have. Okay, but mine was in reverse. I got my girlfriend a job at the place that I was managing. I used to work in like this big gaming lounge thing on the Gold Coast, and guess what? We broke up, and all the locals were on her side. I was a duty manager, and she was out front. I'm like, "What's wrong, love? Paul broke up with me," and they just hated me. They ended up firing me, and I was like, "Sorry to let you go." And I said, "How come you're not crossing your T's and dotting your I's?" I was like, "That's bullshit." I mean, we know what, because all the locals are like, "Oh, what a prick."
Oh, really?
So have I? Yes, I have.
That's a rough story.
That's rough.
I'm getting a bit
Yeah.
emotional.
Aw.
It's like, it was hard at the time. That's why I became an actor. I was a broken human. Anyway, enough of that. You guys know about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never have I ever kissed someone of the same sex. I've never.
Never?
Oh my God, you
Oh,
have.
I have.
Oh,
Well,
stop it.
does it count if they kiss you?
Yeah. You
Because it
kiss
was like,
someone-
mate, it was his birthday, and he's like, come on. And I was like, no. And he was like, ah.
Did he slip the tongue in?
No, I don't know. I was pretty blind. But there was like a table full of people there, and there's like photo evidence. Blair Smith.
Blair
That's
Smith,
his name, yeah.
What if he
Yep.
still wants to kiss you?
Oh, I don't think he does. Like we've been mates for like a decade. Yeah.
Secretly.
Never know,
Yeah.
Blair.
Secretly.
Interesting. Yeah.
Never have I
Girlfriend.
ever Googled myself.
Oh yeah.
I was Googling myself before I was even on Google. And my girlfriend was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm just checking.
I googled myself
Why
on the
do
way
you Google
here.
yourself?
Ego issues.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's where it starts, I think. Back in the day, I was like, yeah.
Is this when you were first starting the acting career? Like, were you like, I wonder?
Yeah, I wasn't even an actor yet.
Yeah.
It's funny because that same girlfriend said, "God, you talk shit sometimes." And then I got on like Home and Away, and then
Ah.
Talking
Hey?
shit now,
I think she
yeah.
wanted to date me again after that. I'm just saying.
She might be watching this, hey?
Hello.
Too late.
Claire Tonji.
Never have I ever cheated on a test.
Oh. No.
Really? I think I have. I can't remember what, but I think I have.
Yeah.
Maybe in school. Like, you just sort of look to the side.
Yeah,
I'm too competitive to cheat. Like I'm competitive in all ways.
Uh-huh.
If you want to have a race right now, I'll race you. I'll take my
Right.
shoes off and race.
Look
So
out.
I always just want to do it myself. I'm more satisfied by going,
Uh-huh.
I know the answers. Yeah.
I can't remember, but I used to smoke a lot of weed when I was growing up in the Gold Coast.
I do.
Hey.
Did you?
Yeah.
So
Is this
I'm
this New
pretty
Zealand
sure
thing?
that I wouldn't have known all the information on the test. So I'm going to say I have.
Yeah.
Because I would have just been like, hey, what's that?
Hey, dude, what's that?
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Hey.
I'm
So you sound the Gold
very-
Coast. Hey, dude. Hey.
Okay.
That's the answer.
Never have I ever waxed part of my body.
Well, it's okay that we put out.
I'm an actor. I'm allowed to, right?
But it depends what part.
Yeah, what part?
Oh, this is a horror story, and I cannot believe I'm telling you. My mum always wanted me to look very good when I went out because I was a bit of a scruffy one.
You, scruffy.
I know I was. back
Look
in-
at this outfit.
My hair
This is
would,
not scruffy.
Well, mum's interior designer, so it was like, that doesn't match. Love you, mum. It's just like, oh, your legs are really hairy. Because I get out of surf and your legs look hairy because the water kind of makes you go, it's a bit gross. I don't know how it happened. And then I had a mate and he was a cyclist and he was like, yeah, man, you shave your legs. You can. And I was like, well, I'm doing lots of exercise, maybe when I surf. And anyway, lots of wanky justifications. I decided to wax my own legs.
Wax your own legs.
Yeah, and I started, and I was like, ah! Well, it was too embarrassing, Gold Coast. Like, I had mates going, "You going to the gym? What's wrong with you, gay?" It's a different mindset there. If you're waxing your legs, you're a dead man. And I was fighting at the time. This guy was like, martial arts. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I can wax my legs. I can get away with this. But I was doing it myself, and then I was stuck because I couldn't finish it. And I was like, it's too painful. It's too much. And my sister came home. She was living with me at the time on the Gold Coast because my mum and dad had moved away from the Gold Coast and left us there to fend for ourselves. Barely 21. No, we were fine. And my sister came in, and I was basically, I don't know whether I can demonstrate here, excuse my butt, but I was like this, looking in the mirror, trying to grab a bit from this, and she went, she just looked, and I let this around the show, she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm trying to wax my... The problem was I was putting it on, and you're supposed to do it straight away. I was putting it on, making sure it's all on place, letting it kind of set.
Oh, no.
I mustn't have read the instructions. And so my sister helped me a bit, and I was like, that's it, done. So I had tufts of hair, and yeah.
Did anyone tell you, like, you got to shave it first, clipper it down?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Because then the hairs won't be long enough to grab.
Yeah. Look, it's House of Wax at our home. I'm the...
Is that how you do it?
To my husband. Yeah.
Right. Well, I've never...
So what, like a number 4 all over?
Yeah.
And then there's like a little bit there to grab.
I take my hat off to women for so many reasons. And waxing your legs, wow.
I had a friend once who just...
We don't just wax our legs, just so you know.
Yeah,
I know, eyebrows as well.
Exactly.
And other bits. Yeah, we won't go there. She had just thought she'd start the whole waxing thing, and so she was doing under her arms and her bikini line. So she's put the wax on, underarms, bikini line, and like you, sat there and waited for it to dry, thinking that's what you do. And then she couldn't move her arms.
Oh, because the wax went hard?
Yeah. She couldn't move anything.
That's fantastic.
She had to walk down to the local beautician,
like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Because wax goes really hard quite fast.
Yeah.
I know it's a softer wax, but yeah.
Back in this was probably 30 years ago when that really thick hard wax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, because this story that I'm telling you about is probably 12 years old. Wax was terrible then. Yeah, I was 17. And,
wax is coming.
Yeah.
Never have I ever gone commando.
Commando, tell me more about this commando thing.
You don't know commando?
What, no undies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's a rite of passage.
Free wine.
Yeah.
It's free wine, free ball, and free everything.
Can I top anyone?
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
Lucky I'm catching the train home.
Never have I ever joined the Mile High Club. I've never.
I've never.
Now...
Okay, is this like a half?
No, I haven't, because the Mile High Club is having sex in the toilets.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't have to be the toilets.
Really?
It's just, I don't know if there's a technicality on this.
I don't think my mum and dad are going to watch this, and I'm not sure I want them to know.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe I was, bit of on the plane. Complete stranger, long flight, a lot of booze.
Really? One
thing led to another. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know,
I'm shocked. Right? I'm speechless. I'm sorry.
So was I. It was probably 3 a.m. in the morning.
You didn't know this person?
That's weird.
Well, I didn't, but it was, a 16-hour flight or whatever.
Got to know them fairly
well.
Oh.
She had piercings. So I think that's it was kind of like, I've got a piercing. And now I sort of know that that's a certain type of girl. I think also the tattoos. I don't have any. No, I was going to say.
A
just you spent time on the Gold Coast, so yeah, tramp stamp. I've got some girlfriends. They're great people, but yeah, the tramp stamp and this thing
is a sign that we're going to on the airplane.
That if you get along and you're never going to see each other again, and you drink a lot of red wine.
Just know if you're sitting on the plane next to Paul for 16 hours,
I don't know what I must have been talking about.
A lot of alcohol.
It was very lucid. It was one of those things did I really... I think I did actually tell my parents.
Oh.
Because I was
you never got...
I was ashamed of it. It's one of those things, at the time, it sort of seems cool, or... And you just go, I'm a bad human being.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can relate to that, can't you? I mean, as human beings, we are, we're perverted in our own way, whatever that way is. But I had a mate who used to love sucking on toes.
Oh,
His
gross.
girlfriend, and I was like each to their own, but I was like, my brain is not a computer. But yeah, my brain goes, that's
wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I've never...
Jerked on a plane, not a problem.
No,
Sucking
thanks.
toes. Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for joining me on the show today. It's been so much fun, and I'd love to have you back someday soon. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Tan.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Here's
To the weekend.
To the weekend.
It's a great start to it.
I know, isn't it?
Oh.
It's a bit.
It's how we
yeah.
like to kick off our weekends here on
Yeah,
the
it's
1 o'clock.
still daylight.
Yeah.
Means there's more time for wine.
Yes, why not? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of The 1 O'Clock Show, and a big thank you to Paul O'Brien and Genine Howard for joining me on the couch this week from the glorious Melbourne. Be sure to like The 1 O'Clock Show's Facebook page, subscribe to 1 O'Clock Show on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. All that's left to do now is to have a great weekend and a fabulous week ahead.